What's going on, guys? Danny back here with Pro Transmissions over in Athens. Guys, today's video, so essentially I want to walk y'all through what you as a customer should be treated like and what you should expect from, in all honesty, an inspection. I know a lot of companies don't do inspections or wham bam, thank you ma'am, get you in and out. I know a lot of you are there, you're pressed for time. So with that being said, I know everybody wants to get in and out. With these 10, 15, 20-minute oil change places are great. They're phenomenal. But in a case like this, you're not doing your car any justice. We preach this to customers a lot. Spend the 30, 45 minutes to get the car physically inspected. So because one, you don't know what maintenance the car may be due for. Two, you don't know what it may need in the future, what it needs now. And three, you need to know the overall health of your vehicle. So at the end of the day, that's essentially what our goal is at Pro Transmissions over in Athens, is to inform you as the customer. I mean, I know cars aren't cheap nowadays. I mean, let's be real, guys. You're talking 30, 40, 50, 60, if not more, for these cars. And a lot of us are still paying on them monthly or weekly, or however your payments are set up on them, or you put a big down payment down on them. So you want to protect your investment. You want to protect what you've invested on. We use a company called Shop Monkey as our platform, our POS point of sale system. A lot of this is very customizable, so we're constantly editing and showing or improving the way we should do our business. But for instance, this is a customer that we did about a couple months ago, in January. Sorry, we did this vehicle. Now, keep in mind, you as a customer, yours is going to look a little bit different, but this is on our side. But these are some of the things we check. We check the coolant levels. It's going to come as you see right here: passed, needs attention, or failed. On your side, it'll show up like that. We check the coolant hoses. We check the belts. Well, like on this customer's car, granted the technician spelled this a little bit wrong, but the belt's starting to have minor cracks. Recommend to replace soon. And he took a picture of it there. We check the transmission fluid. Sometimes, depending on if it's got dipstick or not, we'll put the pictures in there. This vehicle right here, the valve cover gas is leaking oil. Need to degrease the engine. Grant, I understand he spelled this wrong. I'm sorry, guys. They are trying to do this a little bit quickly, so we try to catch them and fix their corrections there, or their spelling there. Um, Decrease the engine and see if there's any other leaks. They've got pictures right there on it. This one right here, this car had a K&N air filter. You can see the picture of it being dirty. We don't clean the K&N filters, and honestly, we don't believe in the K&N filters because the oil that's used in them, we've seen them mess up mass airflow sensors a lot, so we prefer not to use them. Cabin filters, if they're easy access, we'll check them as well. If not, typically we'll recommend to replace them with an air filter at the same time. Cabin filter, we do recommend to replace twice a year. Brake fluid right here. Look, never been serviced. Needs to be serviced. Look at that in there. That is just nasty right there. But that's the kind of things that we check on these cars. If it's a manual, we check the manual transmission fluid. With every service, we do a washer fluid top off. We check the battery health. Look at that. This battery's green in health, which you can see. We check the battery terminals. Corrosion is the number one killer to batteries, and honestly, electrical systems in cars. Battery hold downs, we make sure the battery's still secure because we don't want that battery arcing off on something that shouldn't be. Um, Power steering fluid, same thing. We check to make sure it's been serviced and make sure that the viscosity of it, as far as the color of it and everything like that. The wiper blades. I don't know if y'all have ever noticed this, but some wiper blades have this sticker right here, and it'll be green, yellow, or red. Yellow is basically saying that, hey, you're gonna need to replace them soon. That goes on the. I don't know exactly how the technology or how that works, but it goes based on the sun, I think, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. So somebody knows anything better than that, correct me on that. Check the lights, turn signals. Look at this one. This one had a third brake light that was not operating. The number one forgotten bulb in a car is the tag lights, and why a lot of people get pulled over is because of inoperable tag lights. I know none of y'all want to be dealing with the police or dealing with getting pulled over, the hassle of that. So we check those tag lights. HVAC system, heating and air, make sure it's functioning. If it's not, then we recommend to get it checked out. Front brake surface, look at that. These are green. The rotors, these are yellow. These are the rears. It's in yellow, so it's going to need them soon. Check the parking brake, your tires, front and rear. And then when it comes in for service, we set the tire pressure, front and rear shocks and struts. So typically, most of us recommend to replace them around 100,000 miles. Granted, it's not they're expensive, so we're not always exactly on that. We try to keep a monitor on the bellow boost, make sure they're not leaking. This one actually, the rear shocks were original and they were leaking, and the car had I want to say over 200,000 miles. I could be wrong on that though. Passenger side CV axle was leaking grease. Here's another picture on there. We checked the front end, rack and pinion, inner and outer tie rods, ball joints, control arm bushings. Like these control arm bushings are worn out. That one's actually cracked right there. Exhaust, any dash or warning lights that may be on. Any services, like this one was 2,000 miles overdue for an oil change. Recommend an oil change and an engine flush. This is what the routine maintenance items is due for. Fuel system service and a tune-up if it hasn't been done in the last 50,000. And of course, old life reset. We reset the old lives. So, guys, again, at the end of the day, it's all about how the shop that you're taking your vehicle to is performing their inspections, their maintenance, or informing you. Another thing is don't give in to the pressure tactic sales. I hate when shops sit here and tell you, hey, Mr. Customer, your car is going to break down. You're going to be left on the side of the road. No, at the end of the day, yes, that might be true. Don't get me wrong. But with that being said, I do believe in price and prioritizing for the customer. So in this instance, we would have priced and prioritized the most important things, safety being the number one thing. And at the end of the day, you as the customer know your finances. I don't know your finances. We don't know your finances. I'm not going to pressure you into it. So don't ever feel pressured. You can only do it at your own discretion or your own prerogative. But at the end of the day, just keep in mind that the shop is letting you know what's going on with your vehicle and what kind of condition it is in. Now, granted, not every vehicle is going to have as much wrong with it as this one did. But what you need to do is, hold your shop accountable. Now, if you're at a shop and you feel like that price is too much, or you feel like that price is off, or maybe you don't know what it should be, call around. Never feel bad for price shopping. There's gonna be shops that are cheaper, there's gonna be shops that are more expensive, as long as that shop is not ridiculously out of the question. For instance, let's say brakes. Okay, that's the most common thing. The shop is trying to charge you, let's say 360, $380. As long as you're calling around and that the other people aren't $100 or $200, it's 100, $200 cheaper at everywhere else you're calling, then you're within line. I'll give you an example. We had a customer call us the other day. They were trying to quote out a window regulator for a truck. I can't remember exactly what kind of vehicle it was. With that being said, that window regulator was right at, for us to install it, was right at $410 parts and labor. The shop that they were at was trying to charge them over $700. That's, in my opinion, highway robbery. That's what I'm saying, guys. Not everybody's going to be cheaper. We're not going to be the cheapest, but we definitely stand behind our work, and always check your warranties. Like, for instance, we offer a 2 year, 24,000 mile warranty nationwide. And that's backed by a ProVantage network. Independent shops can offer nationwide warranties too. They just have to be networked with the correct people. So always check into those kind of things. But again, I cannot be more adamant about that. Please, I know your time is of the essence for everybody. I know, those 15-minute, 20-minute oil changes are great, but you're not doing your car any justice, guys. Um, Come back for more, and we'll give y'all tips. Again, this is Danny from Pro Transmissions. I'll see you on the next one.